Hi, and welcome to First and 10 here at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton. I'm Mark Zimmaro, filling in for Mark Narducci and Phil Anastasia, who couldn't be here this week. Later on, we're going to have Kevin Emmons of the Burlington County Times joining us. We've got a lot to talk about, as we got plenty of high school football playoffs, including some teams from South Jersey that went on the road and had some big playoff wins. So we've got the Delran Bears are here. We're going to talk to Coach Garrett Lucas and quarterback Dustin Desher, as well as Seneca with Coach Bill Fisher and Malin Jasinski. So right now, let's head out to the sideshow where Kevin Emmons is interviewing some kids from Seneca and Delran.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Emmons here, live at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton. Tonight we have the Delran and Seneca football teams here with us. Both teams coming off big playoff wins on the road over the weekend. Delran went on the road and beat Manasquan. They're advancing this week to play West Defford. And Seneca is here after beating Ocean Township and will advance to play Somerville. So we're here at Chickies and Pete's, as I said, about 100 players getting fed here tonight. Chickies and Pete's doing a wonderful job supplying the players with crab fries, pizza. So we got some guys here, we'll bring them in. We got Joe Pronchik here from Seneca. And over here, coming through right now, we have RJ Moten from Delran. So RJ, I'll start with you. You guys were here before. That was a Saturday morning. You guys had breakfast. Here you're eating some dinner food. You know, what's that like?
I mean, I'm just hungry, so I'm ready to eat, to be honest with you.
And I know Joe here. Joe was asking me before we were setting up this little interview. He was like, yo, am I going to get a chance to eat? So I know you're excited to eat. What do you plan on eating tonight?
As many fries as I could fit. Probably 7-8 slices. Who knows?
So back to RJ over here. RJ is a soon-to-be Michigan Wolverine. Does that mean you have to maintain a diet of a Wolverine? Do you plan on eating a lot tonight? Do you got to double down? What's that going? What's that looking like?
Nah, I mean, until I get there, I won't go on any diets, but right now I'm going to just eat whatever.
Just going to enjoy it, have a good time?
Yeah.
And how about you? You looking to be the one to set any personal records tonight for slice of pizza, fries eating? You trying to be the guy on the team to eat the most?
Trying to hit double-digit baskets of fries. We're at 3 right now,
So you're at 3. What do you think you could finish at?
We're going for 10.
10? All right. There you have it. They're hungry, and hopefully they save some for us. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kevin. He's doing a great job out there with the kids who are really getting their fill tonight. So we're going to talk a lot about high school football here in South Jersey. We got 2 great teams with us tonight, Seneca and Delran. I'm really excited to talk to both those teams. They're both on incredible runs this season, and we're going to get to them in just a little bit. One of the things we're going to talk about this week is some of the teams that went on the road, and one of them is Cherokee, who Kevin's back with us now. He's going to talk about them a little bit.
So I was very impressed with that win, being that Manalapan plays in the strong division in the short conference with Toms River North, Red Bank Catholic, those guys, kind of the short conference version of like the American division we have here with like Lenape, Cherokee, Shawnee, Williamstown. So for them to go on the road and come out with that win was huge. And they were down 10-0 at one point, I believe, and they came back and won 12-10. So that was a huge win for them.
In your opinion, do you think that helps a team kind of playing against a team that they're not that familiar with, or do you think it's a little easier to play your division opponent? I mean, sometimes there's that having no fear type of thing going up and playing a team like Manasquan. Or Manalapan, sorry.
I think it's it helps the team a little bit. When you're playing a team you're familiar with, there's a lot of pressure coming in, and I'm sure there was pressure going into this game too. It's a playoff game. You go in with that attitude. There's nothing really to lose here. You just come in, prepare based on what you know, and coming in, play a hard game. And I think that's what they did. They kind of rallied on the road and really motivated to come out and play hard, and that's what they did.
Okay, sticking to that same district. In fact, it was a great weekend for the Lenape Regional District as all 4 teams won. I believe it's only like the second time maybe in school history that might have happened on a playoff week. Now, Lenape, they're a 2 seed. They were kind of expected to win, and they just seem like a team that's rolling right now.
Yeah, they're arguably the hottest team in South Jersey right now. They still have another game this week going to Hillsborough. We'll be at home. Hillsborough's coming to town. And I think a lot of people are anticipating that Williamstown Lenape rematch. So as of right now, both of those teams are just rolling. Lenape's playing very well. They haven't lost since that game in Williamstown. I seen them play a couple weeks ago. They played Camden Catholic, and it's just the league playability on that team is really what's impressive. They can return punts, kicks, interceptions, and they'll get it done on the ground and through the passing game. So that's a team that can get it done in any way. And we've seen
And that's what I was going to ask. Is there any chance that one of those teams overlooks their opponent this week, knowing that the other's right around the corner?
Well, I think those teams are a little bit more prepared. They're good teams, so they won't overlook their opponent. I think they know better than to do that, but we could look at it as a trap game situation, trap game scenario, I should say, because as we said, a lot of people are anticipating this upcoming matchup, thinking that that's how it's going to be. The seat's hold, but I don't think both teams, as I said, are good, they're disciplined. I don't think they'll take their competition lightly. I think they'll go out there and handle business.
And speaking of rematches, I mean, if you look on the schedule, you're going to see Shawnee play Millville this week. Millville knocks off Clearview, slight upset there. They go on the road and win. It was a tremendous game last year between Shawnee and Millville. So, I mean, they're going to butt heads again this week. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I am too. It's pretty ironic because they played each other last year in the same exact round, the South Jersey Big Four semifinals. However, last year the roles kind of reversed a little bit. Shawnee had to go down to Millville. They were the underdog. They won on like a miraculous play towards the end of the game. And now, as I said, roles are reversed. Shawnee's the top dog. Millville comes in, and Millville's a team that can't be taken lightly. They've been playing very well lately. And we'll see what happens. It's a game that should be very close.
Were there any other games over the weekend that kind of surprised you, or maybe you felt there was a big importance?
Just really those winning condition teams. I mean, just how they all took care of business. We know that they're all good football teams, but off the top of my head, that's the only thing I can really think of. Just how they came in, just across the board, made their business.
Yeah, and we'll talk a bunch about Seneca in just a bit as they're going to join us on set. I mean, a couple things caught my eye. I mean, it looks like we're on a clash for Willingboro and Pennsgrove again. Both teams had dominant performances this week. Maybe a little bit more friction this week, but they seem like they're gonna clash eventually.
Well, I'm happy you bring that up because looking at the matchups and stuff that were coming up, and looking at some of the scores that did happen last weekend, believe it or not, most of the top matchups really are in Group 1. I mean, those are the small schools, but all those schools are very competitive, and all those teams that are still left are really good. I mean, we got Willingboro hosting Buna this week. I believe the winner of that game takes on the winner of Salem and Woodstown, which is a game that was kind of on my radar because both of those teams were the closest to beating Pennsgrove. Both of those teams lost to Pennsgrove by only one possession. And, as you said, Pennsgrove is they're one of the top small schools in terms of the entire nation. I know Max Preps had them ranked, I think, like the 5th small school in the nation. So, with them and Willingboro, I mean, they control their own destiny at this point. It's really, they're crown to lose, being that they're defending champions, and they're performing the same way they did last year.
Right, and you can't overlook some of these teams in Group 2. I mean, Camden, a nice win over Lincoln. Haddonfield wins. Cedar Creek wins. All the teams that should be there seem like they're there.
Yeah, and they're all, they're clicking at the right time. We've seen a couple of those teams, we've had a couple of letdowns earlier in the year and stuff like that, but for the most part, they've been playing really good football. And as you said, it's the teams that, we expect to be there in Group 2. Also, West Deptford, too, taking care of business. So that'll be interesting moving into this weekend to see those teams face off against each other.
Okay. And, in Group 3, Woodrow Wilson, another dominant performance there. That's actually a team that was on Seneca's schedule. We might talk about them a little bit later. I mean, Seneca might want another crack at them. That wasn't exactly a blowout. Seneca put up some points on them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was pretty ironic because I wasn't at that game, so I was following the updates on Twitter. However, I did cover Woodrow Wilson and Seneca last year, and it was the same style game, just, possession for possession, punch for punch, just a high-scoring offensive game, and that's how it was this year based on what I was reading through the updates. So it would be great to see another edition of that, Woodrow Wilson versus Seneca, being that both teams could really, fill it up and put numbers on the board.
Okay, and we mentioned Shawnee earlier up in Group 4. Of course, on the other side of the bracket in the Central, Hamilton dominating 35-0 win over Brick Township. Seems like that's another team that seems to find Shawnee somewhere along the line in the playoffs. Maybe it happens again this year at a big stadium.
Yeah, well, that's a game I actually covered earlier this year. Those two played each other. Shawnee kind of dominating that game. They won 31-8. However, Hamilton's running back, Jaden Abrams, who's like on the All-South Jersey radar right now, he didn't play in that game. I believe he was dealing with an injury. So, it would be nice to see a rematch of those two based on, being that he'll be healthy and stuff like that. But it's kind of ironic. It's kind of interesting, I should say, with this new playoff system out Hamilton's and Central Jersey. Because when you look at that bracket, they're the only WJFL football team left in that bracket. Everyone else is short conference. So being that they're the 1 seed, as we mentioned earlier, it's never easy going on the road. So luckily, they have that luxury of playing at home and having these short conference teams take that drive to them.
Okay. Well, we'll be back to talk more football in just a little bit. We're going to take a break for now. When we come back, we'll have Seneca, joined by Coach Bill Fisher and quarterback Malin Jasinski, here at 1st and 10 at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton.
Shelter dogs aren't broken. They've simply experienced more life. If they were human, we would call them wise. They would be the ones with tales to tell and stories to write. The ones dealt a bad hand who responded with courage. Do not pity a shelter dog. Adopt one.
Say we've got grit, and we'll take it as a compliment. Because it's our uncommon drive, our spark within, that brings us together and sets us apart. We are Temple made. And when others take shortcuts, when others take breaks, when others take the easy way, we take charge.
Hi, welcome back to 1st and 10 here at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton. I'm Mark Zimmaro alongside Kevin Emmons of the Burlington County Times. We're joined now by Bill Fisher of Seneca High School, head coach, and the quarterback, Malin Jasinski. I am so excited to have you guys on. I mean, when I think about high school football and what teams really embrace it, I think of Seneca. And a lot has to do with you and the culture that you've installed since being the first and only coach at Seneca. I mean, how much do you love going to work every day?
I love it. When I came out here years ago, I wanted to bring that approach that my coaches gave to me. That's all about family first. I have a big family, which at home. But when you can reach out to your community, your kids, and treat them the same way you treat your own kids, it just makes you love your job. It's a 5-minute ride for me, and I enjoy it every morning.
I know another guy who really loves his job, and that's Malin over there. He's having a fantastic year and a fantastic career at Seneca. I mean, Malin, just tell me a little bit about that. I mean, what's this ride been for you this year? I mean, this has to be super exciting.
This year has been so exciting everywhere. Like, the whole team has been backing me up, and I couldn't ask for a better team.
So you guys, over the weekend, you guys, rallied. You went on the road to play Ocean Township, who was 8-0 at the time going into that game. You guys prevailed 27-23, pull off the upset. What was that like?
It felt great. Like, after the game, it was incredible feeling knowing that we were going to make the next round of playoffs. Going in, we knew that they were undefeated, but we did our scouting reports, and we knew that if we did everything right, then we could pull off a win, which is what we did.
The funny thing is I saw you guys against Pennsauken about midway through the season, and I did a story on Malin, and I asked you, or maybe I brought up the word, maybe you brought it up, but the word clutch came up. And I love it when a kid makes me look smart for writing a story like that, because what did he do this weekend? He drives down the field and throws a game-winning touchdown with 10 seconds left. I mean, that's clutch.
It was amazing. I mean, I'm sitting there, and there's a calmness to it, which is awesome. And like in that moment, I was a quarterback. I don't know how I would react, but to him, it was just like it's another play. And I think we were thinking maybe field goal. I think in his mind, no field goal. We're going to end it right here. And he's been doing that all year.
Yeah, I mean that you were up. A field goal would have won it, right? But a lot of things can go wrong on a field goal. I mean, these are high school kids. Things that, as much as you practice things happen. So, I mean, was that in your mind? Like, we want to get this touchdown?
I think you always want to think that way. I mean, we have a great kicker in Johnny Kennevan, so I have all the confidence in the world. He was booming the ball that night. So if we had to do it, I think that would have been fine. But I think, you want to try to get that touchdown first.
So, Malin, I know you're putting up some pretty big numbers this year. I just read that you have 17 pass touchdowns and 17 rush touchdowns. Like South Jersey's own little like Lamar Jackson here. So, you're a veteran. What's it like being a guy that your team can count on and count on them to lead?
I mean, they have my back no matter what I do. I couldn't ask for a better team than them. I trust them throwing the ball, and I trust my line blocking for me.
And being that you're a veteran and you've been here before and stuff like that, you know, you guys are in this playoff run now. Do you feel any kind of pressure, you know, being that you're experienced now?
I feel no pressure at all right now, to be honest, because right now everyone's looking at us like underdogs besides our own team. We have nothing to lose right now, so all of us are confident that we can go in and beat the next opponent.
Now you're here at Chickies and Peace. Did you get something to eat already? Or?
Yes, we all just got fries for the team.
Okay, no pizza?
That's coming next.
All right, what are you getting on the pizza? Is there going to be pineapple on it by any chance?
No. Leave it at that.
It's a little inside joke we have going back a few years, but no pineapple on the pizza. All right, Coach Fisher, you guys are on a 5-game winning streak. That game we talked about earlier, Pennsauken, that's what started the winning streak there. What's kind of changed, or has something changed, or did you just in a good groove?
Yeah, you know, my coach when I was in college, John Bunny, he would always say, man, if you could get a couple wins in a row, the kids really start to believe. We had that 3-game win streak before Woodrow Wilson. We played Woodrow Wilson as about as best as we could play him at that point. I mean, we did a really good job. And I think even walking away from that game, these kids just kept believing. And it's a snowball effect. It just has kept rolling all the way through the season.
Yeah, I mean, I did a little math. I had to break out the calculator, but you guys are averaging about 35 points a game. I mean, Seneca's not usually known as like a powerhouse, you know, offensive juggernaut, but there you are.
Yeah, you know, it was about 5 years ago. I made the best decision I could ever make. I fired myself as the offensive coordinator, gave it to Jay Donahue, my quarterback, and back down 206, and he's done a tremendous job. So we have some great weapons, you know, with Malin, you got Travis Lasker, Najim Johnson, John Kennedy. There's a lot of guys there who can score points. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a funny story with Jay because, of course, he went, as you said, he's your quarterback in 06. He didn't throw the ball a whole lot. You guys ran, but he has really, and it's not just with Malin, it's that, you know, with JJ Scarpello before him, he really seems to have a good bond with his quarterbacks, and he gets the best out of them.
Yeah, he does. He does. He creates a great atmosphere for those guys. You know, they get along. He's tough on them. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, he enjoys what he does, and he's a technician. His dad was a great coach in South Jersey. Actually coached at Delran. So, you know, it's a football background, and he really works hard to get the best out of those guys.
So, Malin, I know you guys got another big matchup, you know, coming up this week, playing a very good Somerville team. And as you said, you guys, you know, are being viewed as the underdogs too. I understand you're coming in fearless. You know, what are you guys doing to prepare for this upcoming game?
I mean, first of all, I have to give it off to the coaches because they have put in so much time on huddle and scouting them. It's ridiculous. And all of us as players trust what they are installing on defense and on offense. And the team is just having our backs.
I want to get a little bit into the culture of Seneca football a little bit because I see some great things through social media. I mean, tell me about Fridays. It looks like there's a drum line coming through the school.
Yes. So, I mean, it starts off in the morning. I mean, they play music on Fridays between every classes. You know, I'm picking the playlist. My wife's picking the playlist. Anything to get the school pumped up. Right at the end of the day, the drum line marches through the entire school. People walk behind the drum line. And then, you know, at night, drumline leads us out. Cheerleaders are awesome. I mean, it really is. It's an event. It's not a game. It's a community event.
And that's what I was just going to say, because I know I did a story up there before about the football club fed all the first responders. I mean, you guys are, I saw online you're doing a volleyball game now, the volleyball team against the football team, which I think you guys are going to get destroyed. And, you know, just the nest there that you guys call it. I mean, it's just such a great football atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's unlike any place I've ever been. I've been to 5 different high schools, and nothing's been like it's been the same. You know, the nest is here, and they just follow us around, and it's the best student body ever.
Mel, what's that like, having this great student support behind you guys, having these big crowds come out, and, you know, everybody backing you guys?
I mean, it feels great. The whole team always looks forward to the drumline leading us out. The entire school is ready for game day on Friday, every Friday, and the team just loves the energy in the school.
And what's it like for you, you know, being a senior, you guys, in terms of accomplishment or having one of your best years in program history? What's it like for you to be a part of that in your final year of high school?
It feels great. As a senior, I mean, there's nothing else I could have asked for. Like, even if, you know, knock on wood, we go out this week, I know that I've finished with a great year, a great team, and it's something I won't ever forget.
even though football season's wrapping up soon, you'll still be able to catch Malin on the basketball courts and on the baseball diamond, where he's also a clutch performer. So we'll see plenty of Malin. We're hoping to see a lot more of Seneca this season as you guys continue on. Hope you can get that state championship. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Del Rand with us. So see you then.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers, behind-the-scenes footage, previews, and more.
I work 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. So when I'm off the clock, I gotta get stuff done. So when I need a snack, I need something healthy, tasty, and easy to eat. Like wonderful pistachios without the shells. They're protein-powered, delicious, and great on the go. And that's perfect for me. Thanks, Liz. A woman without a lot of time.
Hi, welcome back to First and 10 at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton. I'm Mark Zimmaro, filling in for Mark Narducci and Phil Anastasia, alongside Kevin Emmons of the Burlington County Times. We're joined by the Del Rand Bears. We have Coach Garrett Lucas with us and quarterback Dustin Desher. How's it going, guys? You're on an absolute tear right now.
Hey, it's fun to be here. Thank you for having us.
All right. Dustin, you guys are on an 8-game winning streak. I don't know if anybody's brought that up recently, and I hope we're not jinxing it, but What's this been like, this last 2 months of just rolling through everybody?
It's been nothing but hard work and progress, because coming off that loss against Emmons, and they put a fire under us, and we weren't going to take that loss easy. It was a personal game, it was a rivalry game, and I personally losing that game, I think was the best thing for us. Just making us, coming into the season, we had high hopes, and losing the game, it put us down, but we didn't let that control the whole season. We took that as motivation. We took that week by week and said, all right, we're going to go 1-0 every week, and it's worked for the past 8 weeks. So.
Now, I know I've seen you guys play Pemberton. You guys dominated against them 42-0. And that was the first week where you had a couple of your guys back, like Paul Ginty, and I remember talking to you. You guys, have a really good relationship throughout the years, knowing each other your whole childhood. How did that help you as the quarterback, having those guys come back that you have built chemistry with in the past?
I mean, that helped all of us. It helped me, it helped the whole team. It just the family aspect, having everybody together is just going to keep us rolling, because without all of us, nothing's going to work out. We have each other's backs through everything, and this family aspect is just the thing that we believe the most on this team, that we have to have each other's back to keep going through the playoffs and through life in general. After high school, we all think we're so many boys, so Coach Lucas even strives saying we're all brothers. There's a reason why we play football, and the sport of football brings the family together, and that's what we go by every week, is that, all right, we're brothers, and we're going to keep going each week together.
All right, Garrett. You guys made a lot of headlines last year because you had that great season, and somehow, because of a weird points formula, you didn't make the playoffs. Yeah. How was it, psychologically with these kids, like telling them, just do the same thing you did last year, and we'll get in this time?
At first it was hard last year because, we had a large senior class. And to tell them, guys, you did what we asked you to, but you're not being rewarded the way you should, making the playoffs. For this class, they at least got to taste what that feels like. They channeled it up all off season long. Dustin was the front runner for making sure guys were in the weight room. We averaged probably anywhere between 40 and 55 guys, and for a small Group 2 school, it's a large number of kids. They're in the weight room all summer, all spring, doing what we asked them to do. And I think that's where our results really derive from, that, we're able to put in that work. And no matter what happens, and I was talking to some of the guys earlier today, and they said, Coach, it doesn't feel like a semifinal. It just feels like the next game, because that's always our mindset. It's just take it 1 week at a time. Let's see what happens. So let's approach this week with the same mindset. It's just, reload the chamber and let's go.
Yeah, I think last year in a way did help you, though, because you didn't know you weren't going to make the playoffs until the very end, and so you were playing meaningful games the entire time. You were winning meaningful. Now, I saw you guys against Northern Burlington this year. That was kind of the one that got away last year. Yeah. So, how important was it to beat them? And that really seemed like it propelled you guys.
Absolutely. I think in life in general, and these kids will face it no matter where and what they do, but it's always growing pains. Last year, I think we needed to kind of taste, failure in order to succeed, and that's where we're at, because of guys like Dustin Desher, RJ Moten, our seniors that really run this team. And, we're able to channel that energy and focus into, what's the task at hand today.
Now, I had my growing old moment last year when I first interviewed you and asked how old you were.
Yeah.
And, knowing you were, how old are you now?
26.
26. So, yeah,
26.
I'm 15 years older than this guy sitting here.
So to dig a little bit deeper into the playoff conversation, we keep talking about on the show how it's not easy to take that bus ride very far, to an area you're not familiar with and then have to get off the bus and execute and go play a game. So, what worked well for you guys to be able to hit the road against Manasquan, come out, execute, and dominate in the way you did?
I think it was just the whole preparation of the week of practice. I mean, we were all focused and all motivated to we weren't going to take any team lightly. They're in the playoffs for a reason. They're a really good team, and they came off fast, and we weren't going to let with the hype and the chopping for the game, we weren't going to let that bother us. We were going to have to play our own game either way. And I think it's just a preparation. Put the points we did and play the game we played.
So, how special did that feel, being that we just talked about how kind of last year you guys kind of got snubbed. You were here for that, so now you get in this year and you go on the road and handle business. So how special was that for you?
That was great for me and also the team. I mean, my freshman year, made the playoffs as 3-7, faced West Stepford and got beat 60-7. But actually making the playoffs and having a good run and knowing that we have a team that's gonna cause some havoc, and I know if we play the way we play, I do see a chance that you might see us in Rutgers.
Well, so now, you bring up playing West Stepford, a couple years ago, you're going to get another shot at them. How exciting is that?
I mean, me as a freshman, I had chance to grow, had my chance to improve and everything. I came back from my broken leg my sophomore year, and having a chance to go back at them as the team we have now compared to the team we had my freshman year. It's a whole different team, a whole different family, and I think we're going to go in this game with a good mindset that no one's going to take us down all together as one. I think if you're going to take us down, you can kill all of us.
Now, Dustin, you had a pretty serious leg injury a couple of years ago. I mean, how are you feeling? Are you back to feeling 100%?
I feel great. It's the best I've ever felt. Last year, I think I might have played the season maybe 75%. My leg was bothering me a lot, but this season, the weight room workouts and therapy in the off season, and even my teammates pushing me. There would be times where I told myself I couldn't do it. I would stop, and then my teammates would pick me up, and just I can't quit. These are my boys. I can't let them down. And Coach Lucas, Coach Holmes, Coach Jenkins, and all them, they've done so much for me. Also, Coach Zobel, he's been a big factor for me as well, helping me mentally. The worst part is the mental standpoint part. I mean, just thinking it's ever going to happen again. Am I ever going to play football again? But me personally, my family, the people all around me, the team, if it wasn't for them, I don't think we'd be in the spot we are today and also where I would be.
Okay. Hey, Coach, Dustin's been the quarterback for 4 years now. What's it been like to, you took over 2 years ago. What was it like coming in? I mean, he was just coming off the injury, but you knew you had a good quarterback there. RJ Moten also started as a freshman. These guys were the groundwork already in place for you.
Yeah, a guy like Dustin, a guy like RJ, they're irreplaceable. They really are. Because I promise, no matter who plays quarterback, they're never going to be the person that Dustin Desher or RJ Moten is. Great high-character individuals, the way that they do the things on the field as well as off the field. Dustin wants to be a special education teacher. I think that says a lot about him as an individual. I know for a fact that, in my personal opinion and, on tape, he has one of the best arms in South Jersey. I think that he's really been showing that this year. And I kind of like that, as we build up to a bigger stage, he gets to showcase that ability as well.
Yeah, all eyes will be on them. Well, that's all the time we have for this segment. We'll be back in just a bit. We'll wrap things up. We'll talk a little bit about the big matchups coming up this week here at 1st and 10 here at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton.
Whether you're a gourmet cook or just want to eat like one, visit Rostelli Market Fresh, your home for the freshest, locally sourced ingredients to please everyone who loves great food. Our organic meats, quality seafood, and free-range poultry are cut fresh to order. Chefs create culinary-inspired prep foods made fresh every day, which pair nicely with our vast selection of fine wines and spirits. Choose from handmade pastas, artisan cheeses, organic produce, and grocery items, all from the finest purveyors. Rostelli Market Fresh, from our family to yours.
Hi, and welcome back to First and 10 here at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton. I'm Mark Zimmaro, joined by Kevin Emmons of the Burlington County Times. We're going to talk about some big playoff matchups coming up in just a bit, but first, we're going to get to the Inquirer Top 10, and leading off in the number 1 spot is a team I'm going to see this weekend for the first time, and I'm very happy about that, and that's Lenape.
Yeah, Lenape holding that 1 spot. You know, we talked about this before, kind of that triangle there. You know, Lenape beat St. Augustine beat Williamstown beat Lenape. You know, a couple teams that we're going to talk about a little bit later on here in the rankings. And, you know, Lenape is very deserving of that first spot, as we talked about earlier. They get it done any way possible, you know, punt returns, kick returns. Overall, you know, they play offense, defense, special teams, and they've been on a roll lately. So, you know, as of right now, you have to think they're the team to be in South Jersey. So, number 1 for them right now is, you know, well-deserved.
Yeah, and I'm happy to see how far along this program's come. I mean, it was only a few years ago I was covering them when they had never won a playoff game before. And it's crazy to think that. But since then, they've won a sectional championship. You know, they've won countless playoff games, and they look primed to do it again.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, going into this year, when I looked at all the preseason rankings stuff, I didn't see Lenape in there, and I would tell people Lenape is the team that South Jersey needs to watch, because I covered them a few times last year. They brought back a lot of those guys, you know, on the line, the skill position players, and they weren't a bad team last year. You know, they went 5-6, and that may have been a disappointment to them, you know, being that they had been playing well the past couple years before that, but they were a good team, were hanging in tough games, you know, playing in the hardest division in South Jersey. So I knew going into this year they were going to be a hard team to beat, being that they were bringing back all those guys. You know, they play well together. It's a collective team effort. And as we said, they play good in every, you know, aspect of the game. I knew they were going to be tough, and, you know, it's cool to see that, you know, they're sitting at number 1 right now this late in the season.
All right, well, you mentioned the triangle of terror at the top here. So number 2, St. Augustine. What are they looking at this week?
They have a tough test. They have to go to Seton Hall Prep in the non-public Group 4. I believe it's the quarterfinals there, because the non-public started a week after the public. And, you know, that's going to be a tough task for them. Both of those teams are, you know, floating around top 10 in the state. Seton Hall Prep actually beat St. Joe's Montvale, a team from Bergen County, New Jersey, who was number 1 at the time. So, you know, St. Augustine, as we said, has a tough task ahead of them, but they've been playing very well. They were the first team to knock off Williamstown this year. They have a couple transfers back. I know they have a kid playing wide receiver, Carnell Jones, teaming from Absegami. In his first game back against Ocean City, I believe he was around 180 receiving yards. So they got guys stepping up. They got guys who filled in at running back, stuff like that. Their offense is really clicking at this point of the season, and they're going to be tough to beat. I expect them to come into this game, you know, they may be an underdog in this game, playing Seton Hall Prep, but it's going to be a tough game. They're not going to go out easy like that.
Right. We talked a little bit about Williamstown in one of our earlier segments, but still, they look like they could be on that collision course with Lenape.
Yeah, and they have Vineland this week, a team they played earlier this year. They've kind of, you know, historically over the past few seasons, they've dominated Vineland a little bit. And as we said, you know, neither one of these teams, Williamstown or Lenape, are going to take their competition lightly. So, you know, I expect them to handle business. And we talked about Lenape a couple weeks ago here on the show, or Williamstown, a couple weeks here on the show. And the thing that really impressed me with them is we knew going into the year their defense was dominant. Their defense last year was really what carried them to that bowl game at MetLife Stadium. And I believe they brought back 10 out of 11 starters. But the most impressive thing with Williamstown is it's the guys that you never heard of before, you know, that made a name for themselves. They got guys that contribute in so many different ways, and, you know, just they feed off the other guys, and the leaders on the team. They got Aaron Lewis, Michigan commit, Brandon Perkins, Kent State commit. They kind of just feed off that leadership and just work together, and it seemed to, you know, pay dividends for them so far.
Okay, number 4 we have St. Joe's. They are off this week?
Yeah, they don't play till November 22nd. They await the winner of Morris Catholic and Montclair Immaculate.
so they have some time to rest and, kind of, get healthy. But this is a team, they won this group last year, non-public group 2. They're the top seed, I believe. Holy Spirit, a team they played earlier this year, they had a battle with as 2 seed in that group. So, kind of like what we talked about with Willingboro and Pennsgrove earlier, they're the defending champ, kind of control their own destiny. Jada Byers, obviously one of the best running backs, not only in South Jersey, in the entire state. So, I think they'll use this rest, to kind of prepare themselves. And, as we said, they kind of control their own destiny in that non-public group 2.
Okay, another team we talked about earlier, Pennsgrove, and even if you skip over number 6, because we'll get to them in just a second, West Deptford. Number 7, Willingboro. Of course, Pennsgrove, Willingboro, we kind of got them in the same category. We think they're going to meet eventually. Let's talk about West Deptford a little bit. I mean, you're going to see them this week.
Yeah, they're a very good team. I haven't seen them yet. To be completely honest, I don't know much about them other than, they run the wing tee offense. They run the ball very well. And, based off what they've accomplished this year, you can just look at their schedule and stuff like that and understand they're a really good team. They beat Haddonfield, a team that they've battled with in the past, both in the regular season, playing in that Colonial Conference, and then, meeting up usually in the South Jersey Group 2 playoffs. They beat Paulsboro this year. They lost to St. Joe's Hamilton by a point. So they've been in those big games. They're battle tested. And, you'd expect them to get back to the championship. And Delran is going to give them a test. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Delran. Delran's going to battle with them a little bit, but they run the ball very well. They play good defense, so they're really the team to be in South Jersey Group 2 as of right now.
Okay, I'll gush about Willingboro just a little bit because I saw them earlier in the year. This just looks like a dominant team. This is not your average Group 1 team. They have a lot of kids on the team. They're stacked at the skill positions. Their line's big. They're almost the perfect football team. I think they're really going to give Pennsgrove a real good game this year, as they did last year, actually.
Yeah, and as you say, they're categorized as a Group 1, but they're playing in the division with Camden, Delsey, Woodrow Wilson, so they're used to playing teams with those players that have that big playability, bigger schools and having to adjust to that. And Willingboro, I actually haven't seen in action this year, but I covered them a lot last year, and they bring back most of that core of those skill players with, Temple commit Chris Long, Demi Sumo. They can run the ball with Zaire Clements, Sean Davis, great quarterback who could air it out downfield. I remember midway through the season looking at their stats, on the Bowling County Times website, and Davis had 20 touchdowns for 5 games. They were him and Chris Long, the combination they had, it was like a South Jersey version of Tom Brady and Randy Moss. They really separated themselves from the crowd. Second place was a little bit behind them, so they really, can run it up, and I don't even know what the numbers are, but they're averaging a lot of points per game.
All right, to round out the top 10, number 8, Woodrow Wilson, number 9, Shawnee, and number 10, Hamilton. We don't have much time to get into them, but they all got big games this week. This top 10 is a bunch of balanced teams here, it just looks like.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of these teams, go head-to-head against each other, and as we said, close games. So, it changes every week, so it'll be very interesting. Maybe we'll see some of these teams meet up later in the postseason. It should be an exciting finish here in South Jersey. All
right, well, as you can see, all the guys are starting to pile in behind us, so we're going to say goodbye pretty soon, but we're going to take one more break, and then we're going to come back and say goodbye here on 1st and 10 at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton.
RVN-TV is a platform for people of any industry to share their story. Over 285,000 viewers are tuning in to RVN-TV shows monthly. We guarantee a great experience that you'll be sharing with everyone you know while increasing your personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality. Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is another great way to showcase your product during your live segment. Let viewers see how good you really are. And most importantly, there's you and your interview. For less than the cost of a newspaper, direct mail, or a magazine ad, you can leave our studio and within 48 hours have a permanent digital copy of your live segment to link to your social media, embed into your company website, or use in email marketing. Investing in your brand is so very important, and we can't wait to have you as a guest.
Hi, and welcome back to 1st and 10 at Chickies and Pete's in Marlton. I'm Mark Zimmaro here with Kevin Emmons. We got Seneca coach Bill Fisher. We got Delran coach Garrett Lucas. We got the Golden Eagles of Seneca over here. We got the Bears of Delran over there. Everybody's having a great time. Coach, did you guys have a good time tonight?
This is awesome. Yeah, they really did. We were excited a couple days ago when we found out, so it was awesome.
Coach over there, you guys having a good time tonight?
Absolutely, a lot of fun,
Hey, did you get enough to eat?
Oh yeah, you bet I did.
Who ate the most over here? Did anyone set any personal records?
You did. 9
Oh,
slices.
you did? You did? So what did you throw down over there?
About 3 to 5 basket of plates and what was it, 4 or 5 pies of pizza?
That was me.
I like 4 slices of pizza.
They're having plenty of fun, eating plenty of food over here.
I got Travis Lasser behind me here. How excited are you to go on the road and bring back another big win?
Very excited, man. I feel like we're going to go in there and get the W and be a proud family of Seneca football.
How hyped was the bus ride on the way home from that win?
Oh, it was crazy. We was all singing Sweet Caroline. Is that what's called? Something like that? I believe it was something like that. We were crazy, man. We were yelling the whole bus ride home.
How excited are you to jump back on the bus this week?
I can't wait. You know, I know it's another hike and everything like that, but the kids are there, man. We're excited.
All right, well, they seem like they're pretty hyped up. They're ready to go this week, so we're going to say goodbye from here. Thanks so much for joining us, the Seneca Golden Eagles. We got the Delran Bears over there. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck this week. Let's go out and bring a couple wins home.